stop the tape. So when this happened, it happens periodically, I would say at least 20 and 30% of the time.
Really? Wow.
You get some kind of unusual reaction.
I notice you're using an especially big cameraman, so...
Yeah, that helps. Yeah, it helps.
That does help.
Intimidation factor.
Looming over your shoulder.
I can't do anything, so depending on him. Okay.
Ready when you are.
Welcome back. We're discussing public policy interviewing with Bill Kurtis of Kurtis Productions. We had promised before the break that we were going to show you an instance of a politician accepting that he's mistaken, because we want to make the point that all politicians are not unreasonable. Many are willing to reason and even admit that they're mistaken when they're mistaken, and we think that that's also important for people to know. So we'll show you that clip. This is an interview with Senator Biden, and we were discussing ethics and justice, and it was a very broad, universal topic. And you can see, you can judge for yourself.
In the very first program,
see, he did 3 programs.
He did.
Notwithstanding the fact
in the very
that
first
rational
program.
behavior is a norm we should seek, and the ideal that we should seek. Fear, hatred, vengeance, they are not rational human emotion. They are not based on on reasonableness, on the ability of man to reason a solution. They are, though, nonetheless, instinctive parts of human nature, which we constantly, in our society, attempt to control, suppress, and or eliminate through reason. Whether it's racial prejudice, whether it's pure vengeance, that is not rational behavior. And to the extent that our Constitution is designed to promote rational behavior, we advance the cause of mankind.
Well, I wouldn't put all of those emotions in the same group. For example, I agree with you that racial prejudice is always irrational. That's always a mistake. But fear could be rational. For example, I would suggest to you, suppose a tiger walked on the set.
That's a valid point.
Wouldn't it be...
I stand corrected. It's usually, what usually produces prejudice, what usually produces the kind of irrational behavior on the part of mankind is fear on many occasions.
Yeah, there could be irrational
Yes.
fear and rational
Yes.
fear.
I
That was my only point.
That's a valid point. I
So-
stand corrected.
So, what do you think? There,
Well, he
isn't that
handled it
refreshing?
beautifully. Yes, yes,
Sure.
it is.
To see somebody
And he's
engaged
open.
in a reasoning process, and if you give him an example that doesn't jive with his generalization, then he admits
Sure.
that there is a difference there, and that he accepts it.
Yes. Yes.
So, what's your impression so far of what you've seen?
What I've seen are very interesting clips. Very interesting.
Shall we get to the bottom line? Because I know you're a busy man.
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed.
Let's do a checklist and see how you would respond to it. Do you want to watch politicians slip and slide, or do you want to see them pinned down by having their positions defined and their contradictions revealed?
Pinned down.
Do you want a chit-chat interview, or do you want the emotional intensity and dramatic tension of an intellectual battle?
I'd like an intellectual battle.
Do you want an uneventful interview, or do you want to watch politicians do and say things that are so outrageous that they could make the news?
I like the news, and
Get some bites.
I like seeing those things. I don't know that you can produce them that often.
Right, but as long as they happen spontaneously, that
Yes,
you're not
yes.
looking for them, that they're just the byproduct of an intellectually rigorous interview that's focusing on the truth.
Yes, yes.
Not trying to produce any kind of emotions.
Yes.
Or outrageous actions.
Sure.
But some people react that way.
Yes, they
if
do.
in that case there is a news value.
Yes, Indeed.
You can, I think many of these instances actually produce incidents that would make the news
Yes.
if they were shown. What about this question? Do you want an interviewer who doesn't go beyond the public facade of the politician, or do you want an interviewer who can give the viewers an insight into his true character, specifically his willingness or unwillingness to reason?
I'd rather have the latter.
That would be much better, and really, that's what you were saying in the beginning of the show. That's what you were mentioning, and I knew that you would agree with that because that was your original point. Would you like to see an interviewer who simply does a sampling of opinions, like they have these days, where they go from topic to topic all over the place, going nowhere? Or would you prefer an interviewer who can help the viewers differentiate between true and false opinions, as well as persuade the guests of true conclusions?
Yes, I'd like that.
There's a value there.
Yes, there is.
And a man like yourself who's doing a show like American Justice is focused on a very important value, which is justice.
Yes.
And that's the kind of thing that I think we need.
I do too.
When you focus on the truth, which is a value, when you focus on justice, which is a particular kind of truth, that's a value, now you have some real meat.
Yes.
And people can really be interested in it because it's important in life. So I think that when an interviewer can do that, can lead to true conclusions by focusing on the truth, he's actually delivering something special to the viewers. And in your case, you're delivering an insight into a very important subject, which is justice or injustice of a particular situation.
Yes.
And I think Mike Wallace also does that a lot on 60 Minutes.
I do too.
He focuses a lot on justice. So we did two shows with him, one on interviewing, which we discussed his focus on the values that he seeks. And that was one of my points in that show. So on the checklist, getting back to this checklist, would you like an interviewer who leaves the subject matter as disorganized as he finds it? Or would you prefer one who can actually identify principles that integrate the facts presented that the viewers can use to guide their actions?
Yes.
Because that's one of the things we try to do on this show. And what is the principle that we think integrates public policy interviewing? Well, I would say it's, because we're getting to the bottom line here, would be to produce an interview that is intellectually rigorous because it focuses strictly on the truth of the question, and therefore socially desirable on the one hand, and at the same time produces emotional intensity, dramatic tension, and even sometimes outrageous actions. We think that that would be the principle that would differentiate a good public policy interview, or the optimum public policy interview, from one that isn't optimum. What do you think?
I would agree.
Do you think it makes sense?
It does make sense.
Is there something else you would like to say about public policy interviewing, or about what you've just seen, or anything else?
I think it could be a very interesting show. I think you have provoked some wonderful issues.